welcome back. And I've got those two ladies that are about to share the secrets of public speaking with me, with you, and hopefully with some children. Taking place over 2 or 3 days. It's called the Speakwell Workshop. Now, both of my guests are good public speakers, motivational speakers, entrepreneurs, wives, mothers, highly educated and highly motivated to share what they know about the art of public speaking with you in the next 15 minutes. So if you have a question, it could be about, confidence, it could be about content, it could be about context. Whatever it is that's in your heart and mind, you can post it to the TV3 Sunrise page on Facebook, and maybe, just maybe, you'll walk away after the next 15 minutes a much better public speaker. If not, you'll just have to walk into the Alisa Hotel and register for the Speakwell Workshop. Good morning, Omo. Good morning, Francisca. And welcome to Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone.
Public speaking. Now, it's a big thing. The ancient Greeks loved it. Our politicians and pastors live by it. Now, how important is it for us on an everyday basis, day-to-day basis? I know they say communication is, is essential to relationships, good communication. What about, like when you're a child in school? How important is communication?
Communication is highly important. Everybody has a voice. And without you voicing what you have inside of you, people will not know what you represent. So the art of communication is something that can be honed and crafted.
Francisca, some of the greatest communicators in history have also been political or religious figures. For example, the biblical personality of Jesus Christ was able to develop, condense and deliver very complex messages in a very simple manner. Some were great artists. Leonardo da Vinci was able to do this in simple drawings, the Vitruvian Man, for example. And politicians, need I give you a tall list? Basically, what I'm saying is, how easy is it to become a good public speaker? Is it something that one is born with, or is it something that one can learn?
I would say naturally we are not really born to be well-spoken people. We have a voice. Having a voice is a sign of life. Let's go to the maternity ward and have a mother deliver a baby. The first sign of life is the baby really shouting or screaming or crying. And once the baby is born, especially in our society, children are not to be heard, they are just to be seen. So even if they are creative enough to start using their God-given abilities to speak, with our society, they are shut down. So it takes somebody to learn. It takes somebody to teach them. It's not taught in our schools, and it's very essential these days because we live in a global village. Kids everywhere are going to compete with other kids elsewhere for the same positions, for the same opportunities at universities. So it's essential that every person gets the opportunity to be taught how to speak.
And you believe, you Francisca and you, that you can deliver this opportunity during a workshop August 2nd and 3rd, August 5th through 9th. That's a relatively short time. What are some of the key things that you're going to be sharing with participants?
It might be a short time, but we're equipping them with the tools necessary to get started. This is a beginning public speaking course. We'll tell you about content and delivery. You might have great content, you might have a great message, but if you don't have the tools to deliver your message can be hampered, overlooked, and lost. So we're going to give them those tools during the workshop.
Francisca, what's more important, to try to separate yourself from the subject of whatever it is that you might be speaking about, or to rather take it really, really personal, own it, and even begin to start feeling strongly about it?
You have to own it.
You have to own it. You have to really feel it.
You have to feel it.
But then your emotions get in the way, especially if it's a painful thing.
Yes, but emotions are supposed to help your story. Without emotions, your story can never be told. So you have to own your story. Without it, really, you are just reading stuff off.
Nervousness. How would you advise people to overcome nervousness? You're standing in front of a huge crowd of strangers, and you're about to tell them something that affects you personally, that you really feel strongly about.
My plan is always to look in the face of one person at a time, not to look at the crowd as a whole, to connect with individuals as I'm speaking.
What are you
And
looking
that's-
for when you look at the crowd and you search out, you try to find out that one person? Are you looking for sympathy? Are you looking for understanding? What if you meet someone with a really hostile expression? Or someone that's just laughing at you, not interested, they're texting whilst you're speaking?
My goal is to keep going, to encourage myself, and to keep speaking until they get to a point where my emotion and my passion really gets to them to put the cell phone down and listen to what I'm saying.
How did you develop your interest in public speaking? You talk about emotion and passion. When did it begin for you?
It began a long time. I had to run away from home one time because I had an issue I couldn't confront my parents about. And 19 years ago, I ran away without confronting my parents. At that point, I came back home, went to the United States, and then realized that in the States, kids were able to communicate with their parents no matter what the issue was. So I started really getting into it and decided that that would be the last time I would run from any challenge. I would confront whatever situation I'm encountered with. So personally, it was a change of mind, a change of mindset. I started really encouraging myself, started searching for information on how to really be able to approach people, not confrontationally, but just to be able to explain myself. So that's how it all started.
What about yourself, Omo? You hold a degree in IT. Public speaking? I thought, IT people didn't speak at all. They just stayed behind their computers all the time.
That was what made it necessary. I was a project manager in the IT field. As a project manager, you're supposed to be able to communicate with not just technology.
Verbally, though?
Verbally, because as a project manager, you have to convince the accountants in the company, you have to convince the CEO why we need to implement certain applications. You have to be able to do that as a project manager, even though you're in the IT business. So that was a big motivation for me to get into it.
Where did you pick up your motivational speaking skills?
Well, I started out by teaching it. I joined a group where my kids had to learn had to speak publicly every week. So I had to be an instructor for that. So that was in Virginia, in the U.S. So I had to go for classes for that, and that's how I started doing
Okay,
that.
so you took classes with your children. What about yourself, Francisca?
We did the same.
Oh, you did it together. You met in the same class.
Same program.
Same
Okay,
program.
same program.
Yes.
Is it worth the money? Was it worth the time and the money for you? Do you think it'll be worth the money for anyone to come to the Speakwell workshop? Really worth the money? You walk away with a great degree of improved confidence and ability.
It's worth every little bit of money you invest in yourself, because this is like I was thinking this morning, this is not for the ordinary person. This is for the person that is willing to move beyond the status quo, the person that's willing to be a leader, to lead the generation that they are in. So every single dollar or city you put in really enriching yourself, it's worth it because you have the confidence. Let's take, for example, going for an interview at the American Embassy. Like I said, we are in a global village. Just making good eye contact or not making it can cost you a visa that you've invested so much in. So it's very, very important, because if you don't invest now, it's going to cost you later.
The gift of the gab, that's what it's called. Okay, let's see, agree or disagree. This is a motivational, quote that I shared with all of our viewers this morning. And it's from David T. Freeman. It says, the more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. The less you know, the more you think you know. What is it that you would like to still learn about public speaking, or if you know it already, master it, perhaps?
Everything about it. How
Everything.
to speak passionately, how to share my story to the whole world. That's my goal. That's my story. My voice. Turning it on at every opportunity, sitting in a taxi, encouraging the taxi driver driving me, in a hair salon, encouraging the hairdresser to open their voice up, to turn their voice on. So really, the more you know, it's essential. Knowledge is progressive. If you don't get it, you won't have it. So you have to. You have to make it a decision, a daily decision to learn daily about everything, because we live in a big world. You can't just be confined to your small 2x4. No, you have to move beyond your walls.
Okay, that's an interesting thing that Francisca just touched on, knowledge and feeling. What would you say, Almo? Francisca Leon said that it's very important to really feel strongly, like really own and really invest your emotion into whatever you might be speaking on in front of an audience. And when it comes to public speaking, what do you think is more important, feelings or facts? Is it more important to be honest emotionally to oneself, or to be accurate factually when you're speaking in front of a large audience?
They're both equally important. You first of all have to look inside and know that the message you have inside is important enough to share. If your message is important enough to share, if you don't own it, nobody's going to buy it. And then when you own your facts, you own your passion, then you can employ it with the facts. They're both equally important.
Okay, what's important is knowing how to handle mistakes. How would you advise people to handle mistakes in public speeches? You goofed. Oops, you said the world was flat. And you kept saying it for centuries, and you even punished people who said it was round. And then suddenly, we realize that it's round. What do?
You come up. You be honest first with yourself, and you tell people that, yes, to err is human. You've made a mistake. You learn from it and you move on. You don't keep making it. You don't keep covering up a lie because you just want to look good. You just have to really come out and say, hey, oops, I'm sorry. Knowledge is progressive. Maybe when back then I thought the world was flat, but now I know because I've learned, and now it's round. I'm sorry I gave you information based on what I knew, but now I'm willing to give you what is really factual at present.
Speaking in front of a hostile audience, in the write-up you sent me, you quoted a favorite passage of yours that includes not flinching in the face of sacrifice, not hesitating in the face of adversity, and not negotiating at the table of the enemy. Handling a hostile audience, a hostile crowd, you feel you need to tell people something that they don't want to hear. It could be at home to your parents, it could be in school, it could be on a political platform or an even wider platform on the internet. How do you go about it?
You need to have a stainless steel backbone. My pastor always says.
Stainless steel backbone.
Yes.
Titanium, like Wolverine.
Yes. Never
Indestructible.
flinching. Indestructible. Focused. Driven. Ready. Really, that's all it's about. If you really believe in it, you go forward with it no matter what.
Okay, I can see that almost maybe another thought. What would you like to add or subtract from that?
I totally agree. This is hard. This is the real hard. This is passion.
You are both ex-women. You've got mutated backbone coated in stainless steel or titanium or something.
If you don't stand up for what you believe in, you will fall for anything. So, like she said, stainless steel backbone.
Stainless steel backbone. Now, do you have a gender sort of a preference? Are you trying to teach more young men to be good public speakers or more young women? I'm only asking this because you're two ladies.
We are here for any Ghanaian, whether female, male, older, younger, that is willing, like I said, to live above the status quo, to really want to be a leader, because if you don't have a voice, you cannot reach your generation. You cannot change. Since I've been here, I've heard people complain. People have stories. The market woman, she has a story. Who's going to hear her if she doesn't have the skills to deliver it? We are here for everybody. The person that's willing in their home, the mother cannot confront the husband, the child that is so afraid to tell the parent about their career, the student that's confused about what decision they have to make. We are here for every single Ghanaian, a business owner, a doctor, a lawyer that has a case that cannot defend it. We are here for everybody. It doesn't matter. We are two females, but we are here for the whole Ghanaian community to help push them to be leaders. I'm not saying they are not leaders here, but I'm saying I'm going to encourage the people out there, bring them in and give them the voice. We call it Speakwell, turn your voice on. We are here to tell Ghanaians, turn your voice on.
You want to take our dialogue and speech and debating skills to a whole new level, because if you have a whole bunch of leaders, a nation of leaders, debating and dialoguing among themselves, that's going to be pretty exciting. But before you came to Ghana, you'd already done this for 4 years in the United States,
Okay,
yes?
more than 4 years.
More than 4 years. Okay, are there any milestones, any exceptional stories that you can share with me and with our viewers that you experienced in those 4 years or more?
The most memorable story for me is, like I said, I had a program that was running. This is actually almost 7 years now. And this was with actually 6-year-olds. From a young age, if you teach kids, there is no fear. They will grow up with that knowledge. And I had a mom, she had a child. She's an adopted child, so the child was very timid. And when I tell the kids to go up and give a speech. They normally have to come up and stand in front of the class. I couldn't even look her in the eye. She couldn't look you in the eye. You couldn't even suggest she stand in front of a class. Because it's a 6-month program, 2 months into it, when I asked my classroom, who wants to go first, she put her hand up. Her mom had to run out of the classroom crying because she never thought she could see her child be that bold. And this has been 4 years now, and I see her and I see a well-spoken, strong young lady who has a voice now, who's going to impact her future, impact her generation, because she's been given that tool.
What about yourself, Francisca? Any memories?
Yes, as a mom of 4 kids, my last son has speech delay, and he's still struggling. By using the same skills, he's able to stand each day and say, I declare my speech will be clear. He is challenged physically, but he does it each day. Every day I look at him, I know every single person can turn their voice on because my son speaks clearly and he can communicate just by using these skills. That's the greatest achievement.
The ability to speak effectively in public is something that can lead to a career in politics, in preaching, in religion, in the media, radio and television, and perhaps in teaching. When you look at it in those terms, how important is it in the non-professional, non-career sense, in the personal sense? Because you mentioned that it's important in communicating with one's family and friends, and you also cited a personal example. How important do you think it is relatively in terms of, for a professional or for personal reasons?
So important.
For which one?
Both.
For both?
Yes. Because the market woman needs the skills to be able to sell her pepper or her tomatoes that she's selling. If she doesn't have it, she can't convince a customer to buy from her versus buying from the next person. So every single person needs to learn how to communicate. She might have to negotiate, even getting the goods from the farmer. How does she do it if she doesn't have a voice? How does the taxi driver negotiate a price with a foreigner? How does the fisherman? How does the doctor? You've already mentioned that. How does the ordinary person going for a job interview after graduating? How do they use their skills if they don't have their voice turned on? They'll be intimidated, they'll be timid. Although they have all the necessary skills, they might not really be able to get the position just because their voice has been turned down.
Talking about turning down brings me to thinking about volume. And Samuel Boafo says, Eric, please tell the ladies I admire the power with which they speak. Now, how important is power, just vocal projection, considering that the Sufi philosopher Rumi wrote that we should raise our argument, not our words, not our volume, because it is raindrops that grow flowers, not the thunder. What importance do you attach to articulation and projection and actual vocalization? Is it important to be loud?
You don't have to be loud to be heard. Like I said, if you turn on your passion, people can hear you. You can have a room full of people screaming and somebody with a still, clear voice speak up, and everybody will keep quiet and turn to the person. Articulation is very key. You don't want any confusion when you're talking. Pronounce each word. Don't drop any consonants. All those clarity,
but not loudness.
It doesn't have to be loud to be heard.
What about accents? Many people are very conscious of their accents. How important is an accent to delivering an effective public speech?
God made us all unique. It doesn't matter where you come from. Indian, Chinese, Ghanaian, American. An accent is unique to the individual. All you need is, like Omo said, articulation, clarity. Yes, you might have an accent, but that doesn't stop you from speaking what you believe in. People will listen if you believe in what you are talking about, no matter. I've met professors that ordinarily you couldn't even understand them, but they are the best professors with a thick accent, but still making their point. So an accent is not that important when it comes to, it's God making us all unique. So you can't say, I prefer an American accent to a Ghanaian accent. That would be discriminatory.
Okay, I've got posts from 4 viewers, and they're all basically greetings, shout outs, congratulations. I'd like to read them out and listen to them. Tell me which one you think would be the best for a speech, a public speech, and which one is best written from the heart. Can you do that?
Yes.
Okay, so there are only 4. The first one says, happy birthday to my lovely friend Aisha at Oforikrom in Kumasi. Tell her I love her so much. I'm going to read them without the punctuation marks, just the way they're written. Happy birthday to my lovely friend Aisha at Oforikrom in Kumasi. Tell her I love her so much. This is from Black Rooney. Second one says, good AM to guys like Daddy Joe, Augustine, Bra Ashavin, Tom Brown, Kanye Suarez, Tropical, Ellen, Lydia, DJ Ruben, Emma, Tony Best, Kofi DJ, Ajeo, Nyansa Friction, and Apuzo. This is from Christina Dakwa Frimpong. I want to find out which one resonates with you best. Samuel Boafo says, Eric, please tell the ladies I admire the power with which they speak. And Samuel Kobinaochi posts, Eric, please, a happy birthday to my only bro, Ruben Griffiths Bekwe. Today marks his 19 years stay on Earth, about to leave Kingdom. Okay, which one resonated best with you in terms of public speech or public postings? And is there a difference between effective public speaking and effective public posting? Because when you post on a page such as the TV3 Sunrise, you have an audience of tens of thousands, potentially millions of friends. 3 million at the last count.
It's all communication.
Which one resonated best with you?
Let me see.
What did you retain?
I'm biased. I would say the one that said he admires us. Definitely.
Okay, so she's taking that away. What about you, Momo?
I try not to be biased, but it still resonates the most with me.
Okay, that's because someone spoke to you.
Connected
They
with me.
spoke to you, they connected with you, they said something that would affect you. Now, how easy or difficult is it to do that when you have so many people in the room? To say something that has nothing to do with them potentially, but to find a way to get it to connect with them personally. Is that really difficult to learn?
This is all part of preparation for your speech. You have to know your audience. When you know your audience, do some research beforehand.
Know your audience.
Know your audience. When you know your audience, you can connect with your audience.
How do you get to know your audience, Francisca?
Like she said, you have to research. If you are given an audience, you are asked to speak to an audience, you have to ask questions. You just cannot take the same speech you gave to doctors to fishermen. It wouldn't work. So you have to do some research, ask questions. That's part of communication. The fact that you're invited doesn't mean you just jump at it and just go and just say what you think is right. You have to know who and what content they are expecting. So that's really the first step in giving a great public speech.
Okay, talking about getting personal, we're moving from admiration to love. Eric, I love these ladies. They've really inspired me. Kwame Jr. Osei. Okay, I can see you both smiling now.
That word love means so many things,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Okay, admiration and love. Can you give me examples of public speeches that you either love or you, at the very least, simply admire greatly? Examples of, like good public speeches.
I just reread Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream. It has all the elements to it. Emotion, great. He was a great orator. He made you think. That's one I think I read that last night in the plane.
Okay, yourself, Francisca?
There's-
The same one. Oh, is that to say that
That's
preachers
funny.
are better public speakers than politicians?
Well, when you speak from the heart,
Or
it comes
philosophers.
through.
Who do you think is generally better than historically? Is it preachers, priests, public, speakers, priests, politicians, or philosophers?
I would have to say preachers, just because they're usually, I'd say, more passionate about their message.
appeal to the emotion.
They appeal to the emotions. It always comes through.
Wow. Do you want to know what Michael Nketia just posted?
Yes, please.
He said the lion is known by its claws. I think the lioness is known by its claws. Indeed, those women are real models of womanhood.
Thank you.
In a society where we believe that children are mostly better seen and not heard, and where there are definite, like gender differences when it comes to self-expression, you think that public speaking can be an equalizer?
Yes.
Definitely.
if many more girls were able to come out and speak about painful experiences, painful topics such as abuse, neglect, and so on and so forth, you think it would actually do something to change things for the better?
Definitely. Silence is just dying within. Whatever is bothering you, I'm really speaking to the little girl that's listening, the young adult that has been abused or raped or been shut down. Please, turn your voice on. Share your story. Even if you can get just one person you can confide in. Being silent doesn't take the problem away. You are just dying slowly. Speak up.
And you can do just that. You can speak up, or at least learn to speak up in the coming days. 2nd to the 9th of August is the adult session. 5th through the 9th is for the children. Is at the Alisa Hotel. Omo, is there a website? Speakwell.com?
Speakwell.us or go on.
Speakwell.us.
Yes, Speakwell.us.
.us. Speakwell.us. You and I.
Yes.
United
San
States.
Francisco, United States. Okay, that was us. www.speakwell.us.
Or they can like us on Facebook.
On Facebook. Just
On
go to
Facebook. Speakwell, one word.
One word.
There's no break in between.
No,
Speakwell.
Speakwell.
The thing is, even if you go to www.speakwell.us, there's a like button on there, right on the page. You like us for the Facebook page, and it'll take you right there too. So.
And we have another conference, a camp in Kumasi, a Golden Tulip, August 12th through the 16th.
You're coming to Kumasi now. That's good news for Sacrum. So you can find out more by going to www.speakwell.us. Remember, .us. That's us, you and me, and Francisca and Omo from Speakwell. You can also find them on Facebook. Just make a Facebook